Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 206, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. It is the middle of August. My name is Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
I feel the need to point out it is the middle of August for myself.
Yeah, I saw some meme that said something about, do you realize there's only about 4 months left in 2020? I was like, whoa.
Well, you know what's going to happen is on December 31st, the clock will strike midnight, and it'll just roll over to December 32nd.
No. You know what? I don't think anyone would freak out either. I think everyone would go,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just what we're doing now.
Yeah, it feels about right.
It feels, it's weird because my summer teaching session ended like 2 weeks ago, and I had like 1 week to get grades in, and then this past week my fall session started.
Oh.
And I'm like, where in the world did my summer go?
Yeah. Yeah, I just roll right over into the next thing.
It really did, and it doubly so, because, I teach every summer, but just the fact that since March I've been at home just doing my thing, right?
Yep.
And so it's just one big weird blur.
Yeah, obviously I have very little to complain about living in, Southern California where the weather is nice most of the year, but
except right now, are you guys like on fire? Because that's what we're dealing with up here in the north.
Yeah, well, no, and I thankfully in my area I'm not experiencing the fires, but there is a heat wave going on, and I was reading about all these record number of lightning strikes too, which isn't helping things, which is weird. I haven't seen any of that, but yeah, I feel really bad for all the people that are. A friend of mine up north, was in an evacuation zone, and it sounds terrible. And I was just going to say, being stuck inside is one thing for so long, and then when you want to go outside just to even go for a walk, and then it's just scorching outside, it's just that moment right now,
It's one of those things where up here in the north, just like last week, there was this concerted bunch of lightning storms that was happening all at once. In the middle of the night. Did you hear about it down there?
Yeah, that's what I was referencing, yeah.
It was crazy because you look outside and it was like Palpatine,
Really? That's just wild.
Yeah.
We don't really... Do you get thunderstorms up there and lightning storms?
No.
We don't really get those down here.
I've been here 17 years.
Yeah.
And never have I seen that here.
Wow, yeah. We had a couple earthquakes, too. That was...
I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah.
It looked like the end of Rise of Skywalker when like Palpatine... You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
It was very weird. So, we got woken up by that.
Wow.
And then that led to just fires. Not that far from where I live, about half an hour away. There was like evacuation orders and stuff.
Wow. So yeah, is it pretty smoky? Like the air quality pretty bad?
Yeah, you go outside and the smoke is just everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire, and the heat wave is just oppressive. So let's talk about some movies, Brian.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's actually kind of a nice distraction.
Let's fiddle as Rome burns. So, what have you been watching lately?
Well, I kicked it all the way back to 1983 and watched War Games for the first time.
For the first time,
and it's one of those movies that I know my dad has referenced before, and I'm like, yeah, because I think it used to be on Fox 32. On a Saturday afternoon in Chicago, and I know I've probably seen at least a couple minutes of it. And you referenced it in one of our last episodes. You said something about, do you want to play a game, Brian? And I knew that was from War Games, and I laughed knowing the reference, but had no idea really, what the movie was. And so one night I was looking for something to watch, and I was like, screw it, let's watch War Games. And dude, what a gem. I love that movie.
Yes.
It was so good. It's like this great 80s movie I missed out on. totally falls into
it is such an 80s movie.
It is, but almost in a great way.
Yeah,
because
no.
I was talking to a friend and they were saying, I'm surprised they haven't remade it. And we were saying, if they did, I would prefer it take place in the past, because now it just wouldn't seem as unbelievable or fantastic or, scary. It's like, well, yeah, that probably is happening. Like just everyone can do anything on their phones now and tap into this and that and whatever. And there was just something, I feel like it does belong in that neighborhood of the genre of movies we talk about we like, where specifically in the 80s there was very much the suburbs, but fantasy sort of dips into your suburban backyard. And it's the same sort of idea that this kid in this suburban house you could recognize accidentally almost starts World War III. And yeah, I had a blast, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I thought it was a real fun sort of suburban fantasy adventure that I was happy I finally got to check out.
It's also, it harkens back to a simpler time when we didn't really know what computers were capable of. Yes, absolutely. Like I did a lot of reading about it afterwards, just out of interest, and apparently people were saying during this time when it was made, the writers were very well researched, and a lot of the stuff that he was doing was relatively plausible. I mean, whether or not he could break into this, that, or the other thing, we don't know, but the means of him doing it were plausible. And apparently Ronald Reagan watched the movie, at Camp David one weekend, and then came back and talked to his advisors and was like, yo, can that happen? Is this possible? And what are we
apparently,
doing about that Ferris Bueller fella?
Well, yeah. He does say well a lot. But apparently there was some guy who wrote about the possibility of such a scenario way back in the 60s. And then they ended up talking to that guy, and he's like, hey, I've been saying this for decades. Like, this is, someday we're going to be able to go into each other's computers, and that could be disastrous. And so literally because of this movie, it led eventually to bills and legislation about privacy and security and passwords and all sorts of things. So it's kind of fascinating alone on that front.
Well, there we go. Look at that. There's a little history lesson for you, you little leaguers.
Yeah, kind of cool. And also, I didn't realize it was directed by John Badham.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this guy, he's still doing great. He's doing a lot of TV, a lot of Psych, which I've been enjoying and whatnot. But man, he had quite a run in the 80s with Short Circuit. War Games, and he did Stakeout, and he did a movie I like.
He did a movie called Blue Thunder.
Blue Thunder, right? He's Saturday Night
Roy
Fever.
Scheider. Saturday Night Fever, duh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy. And then The Hard Way, which was, I haven't revisited it, so don't hold me to this. But that was one of those, when I didn't have cable and networks would show Sunday night movies, a lot of times I'd tape them just because I was like, great, I'll watch this sometime, And so it was like Darkman came from that.
Yeah.
And those sorts of things. Anyway, The Hard Way with James Woods and Michael J. Fox was one of those movies. And I loved that movie back in the day. I don't know. I'm like a little nervous to revisit it. But anyway, just John Badham. Thank you. Thank you for the entertainment.
Speaking of Darkman, I should mention, by the time y'all are listening to this, it will be right around the 30th anniversary of Darkman.
Wow.
August 24th, 1990.
Liam Neeson. Sam Raimi.
We should watch that, Brian.
Danny Elfman. Yeah, I just out of the getting me to revisit it, I would love to check that out again.
Let's do that. Let's add that to the list, because I would be totally down to do a commentary for Darkman. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, my only memories of it really are being 12 and like watching it on a VHS tape taped off of NBC or something. So I would love to check it out.
My takeaway from that movie was do not piss off Liam Neeson. and as it's turned out in the 30 years since, that's just good advice.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That's always been there, hasn't it?
It's been consistent.
Yeah, I've been watching some other stuff. Just real quick, I'll just throw it out there because I watched it. But I watched The Lady Killers for the first time, the Coen Brothers movie.
The Tom Hanks, right?
Tom Hanks playing kind of this Southern gentleman, and he's got this ragtag crew that they pretend they're musicians, and they board at this old woman's house. And it's basically so they can do a robbery using her basement, drilling through the ground. And every now and then I'll come across a Coen Brothers movie I haven't seen, like A Simple Man or something, and I'll just DVR it and watch it, and I go, hot damn, I love the Coen brothers. It's just their voice is so specific, and I just love finding these things. I'm almost glad I don't plow through all their movies. It's like these fun little gems I get to pick up every now and then. Sadly, not the Lady Killer.
Wow, what a twist!
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I have not.
I gotta say, there's a couple threads that run through it that I'm like, yeah, that's the Coen brothers, and that's what I showed up for. I like it's a little dark and kind of comical, and that was kind of fun, but it feels a little strained. Like, they're really trying to push Tom Hanks' funny way of speaking to be funny, and Marlon Wayans is in the movie, and it feels like they were really trying to make a Marlon Wayans character, and it feels a little strained, and it just ultimately, I can see why this one kind of fell by the wayside. And I mean, it's got their hallmarks, and I didn't regret watching it, but I wouldn't say it was one of their better. I'd say it was one of their lesser ones, unfortunately. But
that's interesting.
It was interesting to finally get around to it. I mean, I didn't regret checking it out.
The vibe, Brian, that I always got from that movie is it felt like the Coens kind of trying to work within like a more mainstream box, right? But it reminded me of the Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh, how so? Wait, in what way?
In the Hudsucker Proxy was also one of these ones where it feels, because, and admittedly I haven't seen that since I think the mid '90s, but it's a little too Coen for the mainstream and a little too mainstream for the Coens.
Interesting. I would really love to revisit Hudsucker because I remember liking it, and I was pretty young when I saw it.
Yeah, like I thought it was fine.
Special. Like I knew it was different.
Right. I mean, you can see why it didn't do well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And with this one too, you're right. I'm sure it suffered the same thing where people showed up for Tom Hanks or whatever, and then it was a little too this for that audience, and a little too that for the other audience. And I'm glad I saw it just to sort of check it off my Coen checklist. And there were things that I'll probably remember from it. There's like a repetitive sort of through line about like a passing garbage barge that I found amusing, but ultimately kind of forgettable.
Swing and a miss,
unfortunately.
But just
which, by
quick,
the way, history knows this. They've known this for about 15 years. I'm just catching up to that.
No, I was thinking about the fact that the Hudsucker Proxy came out in 1994, and my memory is that that's the same year as the Shawshank Redemption. So you had these two Tim Robbins movies with these tongue twister titles that nobody watched, and they just kind of mixed up together.
Oh, that's funny. Tongue twist. See, I just did it. I was gonna say tongue twister titles. I like that too, by the way. That should be the title of a book or a documentary or something.
Yeah.
And speaking of documentaries, I'm only one episode in, but I checked out a new documentary called High Score. It's on Netflix. I saw somewhere someone called it the last dance of video game documentaries.
Go on.
That's exactly what I said, and I saw it was streaming, so I checked it out, and I just finished the book Console Wars,
which
was basically the Nintendo versus Sega thing. Yeah, so I'm well immersed in that world right now, and one episode in, I really like it. It's they actually, feature the guys who created Space Invaders and Pac-Man, and tell the stories of how they did that, and it also gives an overview of.
Oh man, I'm reading up on this. I got to watch this with my kids. They're gonna love it.
Oh, it's great, and they also get into sort of forgotten history, and I won't get too into it, but basically, the console, video games started as something you had to go to an arcade for, but the man who is responsible for creating the console, the home console, where you put in different cartridges and you could play mini games. I mean, he's been kind of lost to history because that was first pioneered with a device that no one remembers. But everybody else copied it, and here we are. So, I was going to start watching a couple of them in a row, and I was like, no, I want to savor this. I think I'll do like one a night and kind of drag it out. But, I'm only one in, but I recommend it so far. High Score.
Nice. Okay.
And then lastly, one night it was 10 p.m. I didn't know what to do. Wasn't ready for bed. Didn't know what to watch. And I don't even think it's a secret anymore. Zachy and I share a Voodoo account. Well, Zachy allows me into his Voodoo account, more accurately.
We've been going steady long enough. I thought it was time.
Yes. And so I saw that you had just purchased The Way Back, that Ben Affleck movie. I think that was one of the first casualties, right? Or maybe it had been out for a week in theaters, but then the stay-at-home order came out and it was put onto streaming for, you rent it for like $20 or something. And I had read that it was good. And I was like, okay, I'll get to that someday. I don't know. But it was perfect. It's 10 p.m., didn't know what to watch, put it on. Man, what a great movie. I really like this movie a lot. I was expecting sort of a Disney sports film, like a Remember the Titans. And it is not. It is
really? Okay.
No. I didn't realize it was rated R. That kind of occurred to me as I was watching it.
Okay, I was going to ask you, because I was thinking about watching it with my kids, but you would say probably not.
It depends. It's language, but it only language.
Okay.
Well, and there's a lot of... He's an alcoholic, and it's portrayed not in like a movie way, but more in like kind of a sad, realistic way.
Okay.
And I mean that... I actually mean that as a compliment to the film. I really... As it was unfolding, I was realizing like, wow, this dialogue's like pretty good. Like it's really naturalistic, but not scripty naturalistic. And the way that they're revealing to me what this guy's deal is just felt really elegant and patient and well done. And it really, this is a little drastic, but I mean, it really is sort of like Remember the Titans meets Leaving Las Vegas, I guess.
Okay.
And I really respected it for that. Like it doesn't pull its punches with the alcoholism. Like I love beer and I love whatever, but watching it, I was like, I'll never touch a beer again.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those kind of movies where it does a good job of.
Is it, Brian, is it sort of like when Bart and the kids go with the fake ID, they go to Moe's and they order the beer?
Oh, right. Yes. And they see how sad it is. Yeah. In the bar. I mean, I remember there was some other movie. Oh, I wish I could recall what it was, but we talked about it, but it was a movie where basically this character is getting over, being addicted to alcohol or attempting to get over it.
Flight.
It's a disease.
Is it Flight?
Yeah. Oh, that might be it. And when they have a drink in their hand, you're yelling at the screen, "No, don't do it!" And this is one of those movies, but in a great way. Like I was really, really rooting for his character. The side characters are really, rich and colorful and interesting. It's a much better movie than I expected. I was expecting like an entertaining, good movie, and I was like, oh, this was like actually a really good movie, good story.
Nice.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend The Way Back.
Very cool. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Are we caught up with you?
I think. Well, there's more. These are the ones I chose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to hear what you've been watching.
I've seen a few things. I've seen some stuff. Here's one that should take you back. Three Kings.
Oh yeah.
So one of my traditions is whenever my wife takes the younger kids out for any reason, and it's just me and my oldest, I'm like, all right, let's watch an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
So I was like going down the list of R-rated movies. I was like, Three Kings. That's you can learn a little bit about history with the Gulf War, and he can learn to appreciate the animal magnetism that was 1999 George Clooney.
Right.
Two birds with one stone. That was my thought going into that. Now, Three Kings, as a matter of movie film history, everybody, is the first movie that Brian and I happened to see in the same screening room together.
Yep.
So this is, it's quite a historical moment.
Absolutely. I mean, that was such an exciting time for movies too. I mean, our budding friendship, of course.
Yeah.
But there's some book came out recently, right, where it was pondering if 1999 was one of the best years in movies ever. I mean, there was just so many interesting movies coming out.
Yes.
And this among them.
What's funny is absolutely this, and Fight Club was like just a couple weeks later, which they're right there. The amazingly artistic films that. Well, and neither of them did well. I was going to say they were very commercial, but clearly they were not commercial
but put out by studios as if they were.
Yeah. What's funny? Speaking of 1999, it's funny how there was a moment where everybody loved American Beauty,
Yes. Yeah.
and then everybody suddenly realized, oh my God, this is so deeply troubling on so many levels. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it was troubling way before Kevin Spacey turned out to be, the Chris Cooper character.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very weird. Anyway, but no, Three Kings. When's the last time you saw Three Kings?
I revisited it. I hate saying that word, by the way. I would say probably within the last 4 years ish. So it had been
Okay.
a while, and then I went back to it just to check it back out.
So what did you think after seeing it again after a while?
I definitely have personal feelings tied to this movie. This was, like I say, it was an exciting year in movies, and this was when I was, post high school. Like, I think I want to make movies, and so movies like this were very exciting to me. So I'll never be able to untie that to my experience, but I still enjoyed it a lot. I think it's a really original vision and story, and I still found it exciting and thrilling and touching, even.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, it had a very nuanced view of that war back then, which feels even more forward thinking now. 21 years removed, and I remember at the time being appreciative of the fact that it treated not merely the conflict, but the people in that region with a certain amount of sensitivity.
Yep.
And the other thing is you watch it and you're like, and you know me, I've been, with my ER kick I've been on, you're like, Clooney's a star. But I remember watching Three Kings and having that really be the first time I was like, this guy's a movie star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's right, because the movies that he did before then, it was like, oh, well, it's TV's George Clooney.
Yeah. He is a leading man. It's an ensemble, but he absolutely is. Yeah, he carries that movie, and the magnetism, like you say.
That was also the first time I saw Mark Wahlberg, because I had not seen that other
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. I had not seen Boogie Nights at that point, so that was the first time I saw him as like an actor.
Yeah, maybe me too. And he's good in it.
He is.
They all are. Ice Cube's good in it, and Spike Jonze.
Spike Jonze, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Troy gave me this haircut. It's a badass haircut.
Hey, what the hell's going on? Hey, Conrad, what are you doing? Okay. Yeah. Honey, I'm trying to get home. Okay.
Right. That's right.
But I really enjoyed it. My kid enjoyed it too. He didn't know anything about the first Gulf War, so that was get to have that conversation. Mm-hmm. But good stuff. What else?
Good, man. I'm glad to hear that you thought it held up too.
Oh, I think it absolutely does. Yeah. Very well done. Also, speaking of holding up, I revisited the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yeah.
Man, spoiler alert, Brian, I like these movies. But this is the first time I watched them in sequence as a trilogy. Right. And I think I'm amazed at how well it holds up as a trilogy.
Yeah. Getting to watch them, back to back and not waiting years in between.
Yeah.
So they do feel like a cohesive.
They really do, and when you track the arc of this character, Caesar, obviously, literally from birth to death.
Right.
So there's an element of poignancy there. But what I really love, and it really stuck out to me on this viewing, is how it never lets you forget that you are still watching an end of the world story. This is the story of Caesar against the backdrop of the fall of mankind. And I think that, by the time you reach the end of the third film, the stage has been set for, the Chuck Heston movie. And I think that's the really crucial thing because we did our Beneath the Planet of the Apes commentary just recently, and these films are dark. They have to be dark.
Right.
They're not. They're entertainment, but they're not. Crowd pleasing entertainment. They're meant to make you, at least a little part of you, uncomfortable. And I think the third film, by the time we get to the place where Woody Harrelson is, you remember what happens to his character. Mm-hmm. it leaves you feeling uncomfortable, because he is the bad guy, and it is sort of a dramatic necessity of where he ends up. But, when you see a person reduced to this pitiful place, I mean, it should make you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah, yeah.
So it holds up. I was talking about it online, and, so many people are like, I think this is the best trilogy of the 2010s. And I'm like, well, by comparison, you've got the Star Wars trilogy and the Hobbit, right?
Right.
And I'm kind of like, yeah, I think so. I think this is the best trilogy, and certainly in terms of just consistently qualitative. Mm-hmm. And this is, I'm fairly certain I said this on the show before, but I'm appreciative that the films, at least the first two, I mean, because the third one ended up not doing as well, but like the first two did well, right?
Mm-hmm. But they were hits.
But here's the key thing, Brian. They were hits, but they weren't such big hits that the studio people got their fingers into the pie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they did well enough to be like, all right, do another one. Mm-hmm. But not so big where everybody's thinking about the Bugattis they're going to be buying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That sweet, sweet ape money.
That's right. So I think that's cool, and I hope that Disney does plan to continue the franchise.
Yep.
And I'm always optimistic, but I hope they at Disney do not lose sight of the fact that you've got 50 years worth of precedent that says that these films, there has to be an undercurrent of darkness.
Right.
Throughout, I mean, this is not, these are not blue beam in the sky movies,
Right.
So I'm curious. I think Wes Ball, is developing the new one. I'm curious to see where that ends up.
Yeah.
Other new thing I've been watching, Brian, the latest Star Trek series has premiered.
On CBS All Access?
CBS All Access. They're riding the Star Trek train. It's kind of interesting because I feel like streaming, we talk about all the ways streaming has fractured the audience and whatever. The one upside is that when you have a smaller platform such as CBS All Access, a property like Star Trek becomes much more valuable.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, what is this, the third one? The third series?
The third CBS series, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And there's two more on the way.
Oh, wow.
So they're just rocking and rolling. Now, this is animated. It's called...
Yes. Okay, I've seen images of this.
Yes. So this is called Star Trek Lower Decks, and it is a half-hour show created by one of the producers of Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it has that Rick and Morty sensibility. However, this is meant to exist within Star Trek canon.
Okay, interesting. So what's it like?
Parody.
What's the tone?
It's actually, I have to be honest, I think you would probably enjoy it. The idea is, it's funny because the title Lower Decks comes from an episode of The Next Generation called Lower Decks, which is about, like the lieutenants and the ensigns and whoever who work not on the bridge.
Oh, okay. That's a funny idea already.
Right? So in other words, they're the people who are hearing about, like, oh man, like, I guess we're like having a standoff with some alien race or whatever. Like, oh, did you hear what Riker did? Like that, Mm-hmm. And so they were like, oh, let's just make a whole show about this. It's not the Enterprise, it's another ship, but it's like the random crew members who aren't on the bridge.
Right.
And it's very funny. I've been enjoying it. I've been watching it with the kids. It is kind of like a little bit more mature in terms of its humor. Mm-hmm. But I'm just, I find there's a lot of like inside baseball stuff that if you know it, you'll have like an extra level of appreciation, but it still plays if you don't, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, this is, I like that there's room in the franchise to do something like this,
Right. Yeah.
I think that, to make a comparison, like I feel like Star Wars doesn't have room to do something like this.
Why do you think that is? I agree with you, and I'm not sure why, but I feel the same thing.
I think I was gonna say the fans take it too seriously, but I mean, have you seen Star Trek fans? I don't know. I don't know. I think it goes to the fact that the Star Wars franchise, for the most part, hasn't quite figured its way out of the Jedi Sith Skywalker box.
That's what I was starting to feel.
Notwithstanding Mandalorian.
Right. Well, and that feels like the first signs that this can happen. But you're right. There's this sort of through line that every other thing has to adhere to. And Star Trek has had several other series that have involved other ships and other captains, right?
Yes.
So it's sort of, fans can be comfortable with different
you can just be
corners.
like, oh, this is just another thing.
Right.
But I've really enjoyed it. You know, I think it's fun. And CBS All Access, their plan is basically to have new Star Trek year round.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
So like one series will go every week for this many months, and then they'll just start the next series, and then the next, and basically, every week new Star Trek. I'm like, hey, if it works, why not?
Yeah. Clearly, it's paying off for their service.
Seems to be. And, if the metric for success with streaming is lower, then that means that it allows more opportunity for experimentation.
Right.
So that's a fun thing there. Why don't we take a little break and we can reconvene with some listener letters. And we are back, Brian. We got some listener letters.
Oh, okay.
So this is a comment that was left for us by Bushra on our commentary track that we just dropped for Beneath the Planet of the Apes. And now, by the way, I should mention that I was, as we were doing our Beneath commentary, I was under the assumption that you had seen the third movie and not the fourth movie. And I realized after the fact, it's probably embarrassing. I'm like, hey, remember the third movie when that happened? And you're like, uh-huh. I'm like, yeah.
Well, no, me too. Well, that was on me because I didn't realize I had not seen the third one. I didn't realize it was the fourth one.
I was thinking about that in hindsight. I was like, God damn, I probably sound like the biggest asshole. I'm like,
what? No. No. Well, because it's funny too, because everything you were saying, like, I was like, yeah, I think I remember that. Like apes being mean to humans.
There's like apes in there, right? I'm sure.
Right.
What's funny, by the way, is I was looking online just out of curiosity to the see about how much the Blu-ray set is of the ape movies, and it's like out of print and going for a lot of money now.
Really?
And I'm realizing that seems to be happening across the board for a lot of physical media.
Physical media?
Yeah. And I'm like,
yikes.
Oh, that's like I own it already, so I'm good.
Yeah. But no, that's kind of I feel like I do have the physical copies of everything I feel I need.
Yeah.
To have the like the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's
worrisome.
There was a thing that came out, right, where it was. I didn't understand the actual details, just sort of the hyperbole people were spouting, but that Disney was planning to, aside from specific, possibly like Disney classic titles, that they weren't going to put everything out on 4K anymore or something like that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then tangentially connected is how all these streaming services have these weird contracts over who has the rights to what movies.
Right.
So, like Jurassic Park is on Netflix for this long, and then it jumps to HBO for this long. And I'm of the position that, well, okay, even if you don't own the disc, at the very least maybe own it through one of these a la carte services. Mm-hmm. Quote unquote own, because it does remain in your library at least.
So wherever it exists, you have some sort of license to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if it's that important to you. Yeah.
That's the new world. But regardless, here's what Bushra said about our Beneath the Planet of the Apes commentary. She says, this was a fun listen, although I realized I've seen the first one several times and the third one, but never this one. So she listened to the thing without even watching the movie.
No. I was just going to say, how did that go?
I'm about to tell you, Brian. I was building suspense.
We'll tell you right after this.
Yeah, exactly,
break.
right? I kind of want to watch this whole series of movies now, so I guess that means our commentary went pretty well. And random, when Brian mentioned Melancholia, Is it Melancholia? Melancholia? I say
Melancholia? That's how I've always said it that way. I don't know if that's
Melancholia. I think you're right. I twitched. I have so much hate for that movie that it defies logic.
Did she say why? Which, by the way, I'm not going to pretend like I don't know Bushra. I know Bushra. I love Bushra. Hi. She's an amazing playwright, by the way. Look her up. Anyway, that's
Bushra, Bushra, Bernie, Burney.
Yes. She does shows, and she's fantastic. But yes, okay. Wait, why did she explain why?
No, she just she left it at haha.
See, I wonder if it's for the same reason, but I didn't hate the movie for being as bleak and then just ending with the world ending like it did. I sort of, wow, they did that. But yeah, like I said during the commentary, it left me upset, and it wasn't even something I could control and be like, oh, it's just a movie. Words on a page, and then they filmed it. But I was just the prospect of it and the way it happened and the mood it set. I was in a bad mood for a while. It was really interesting. So in a way, I kind of admire it, but it's not a movie that I thought was like great. You need to go check out.
You don't ever feel the urge to make it a Melancholia night?
No, I mean, when an artist is able to do that to me, they just did something successfully, right? So I admire it, but it's it's not something I really want to feel.
Yeah, again and again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that, and that's always cool. Tyler Kloster, who listens to the show, he whenever we put out a commentary, he always watches the movie along with us. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad to know that experience is worthwhile. And then it's just as nice to know Bushra, and I'm assuming other people too, are able to just listen to it on its own and find whatever friggin' bullshit we have to say is worth it to some extent.
That means a lot. Yeah.
It's a nice feeling. I mean, I said before, when it comes to the ape commentaries, Brian is a soldier because he's got to listen to me talk about this crap. I wouldn't wish that on anybody,
I would totally roll with this as a joke, but I really mean this. It goes to back what I was saying earlier about War Games, because when War Games was over, I want to read all about it. I go right to the IMDb trivia. I'll go to Wikipedia if there's some article that sounds like it might have an interesting sort of take on the production. I'm really fascinated by the productions of movies and the stories behind them. So I think with those movies, even though I'm not as familiar with them as you are, I do like those types of stories and insights. So it's fun for me to hear you being your own sort of Wikipedia for these movies. I'm like, give it to me.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. You since you have not seen the third one, I do recommend that. I think you will. I consider number 3, which is Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I think that's the best of the sequels.
Okay, well, just like Bushra said, and I might have mentioned it in the commentary, I'm into it. I want to go back and just sort of plow through these movies. Or that's the wrong word. That sounds like I'm not paying attention. But I like to binge them. Just do one a night for a week. There's 5 of them, right? So yeah. Maybe I'll do that.
And then, of course, next year is the 10th anniversary of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and those films I actually would enjoy talking through because I think there's a lot there to go through.
Yeah, I need to check those out again.
Yeah, it's a solid trilogy, so you got something cool waiting for you.
Yeah.
Also, we have a new review up on iTunes, or rather Apple Podcasts, since they switched over to whatever the hell they're doing. And this is from Soundrago, I want to say. Okay. And he says, best pals talking about movies? Check. Catchy theme song? Check. Spot on impressions? Check. That's pretty cool. When the pandemic started and theaters closed down, one of my irrational fears was that Zachy and Brian would stop making new episodes. Fortunately, this has not been the case, and new episodes are still coming on the regular. This podcast is like Norm and Cliff from Cheers meets Siskel and Ebert at the movies, with good reviews and analysis between two friends who've known each other for decades.
Wow, man! If I could put that on a DVD box, that's what I would.
Right.
Whatever. Thank you so much.
I think that makes me the Cliff in this. Now, you're not super familiar with Cheers, are you?
I'm not super versed in Cheers. So actually, as you said that, I was like, ooh, I don't know what that means. I know a lot of people about my age and older are like shaking their heads at me too. I know it's great.
I'll say what I always say. You got a great show waiting for you.
Yeah.
And then they ask, can we please get a Spaceballs commentary track?
Oh, Spaceballs the commentary? Absolutely. I've just rewatched that at least twice in the past year. And I've laughed every time. I just love that movie. I would love to do that.
That is for sure going to happen one of these days.
Yes.
It's just a question of when.
Yeah.
So with that, moving right along, let's talk up some headlines, Brian.
Let's do it.
So, here's some news right out the gate. Aunt Becky is going to the big house, not the full house.
It's become so cliche at this point to do this, but if you could be in the past and look at a checklist of everything that was going to happen in 2020, would you have ever imagined Aunt Becky is going to jail? I would have never.
Now that being said, she's going to jail for 2 months.
Yes, and I'm sure it's going to be probably some sort of resort.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest.
So the scandal, what was like 2 years ago at this point?
Wow, yeah.
2 years.
Oh, 2019.
Or 20.
It says 2019 college admission scandal. I didn't.
Was it? It was a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow. I see. Really, time no longer moves in a normal manner anymore.
Yeah.
So it says here, because of the bribery thing, trying to get her daughters into college, she gets 2 months in federal prison, plus she has to pay $150,000 and do 150 hours of community service.
Yeah, and not the worst thing that could happen in a prison scenario, but another thing that's happened is, I thought it was interesting when this all sort of broke. I mean, she loses all of her jobs.
Yes.
Right? Like, she had a regular series, I believe, and like film series on Hallmark and Lifetime and those sorts of channels. And I mean, it's not like she's going to be going back to those anytime soon. So it's, there's a whole assortment of punishments that come along with this.
Well, I think there's an opportunity for a Netflix spinoff, right? Becky Behind Bars.
Like a laugh track and 3 cameras. That'd be so weird. Hey, who wouldn't tune in at least to the first episode?
That was me with Fuller House. I watched the first episode and I was like, wait a minute, why am I watching this?
I remember saying that on an episode where I was watching the first episode of that, and it occurred to me, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And then I stopped.
You're like, what do I have, like 18 minutes left? Well, there's 18 minutes I could be doing something else.
Yeah. And people, I mean, it ran for several seasons, and I loved the first series as a kid. I mean, it hit me at the right time, and I'll always remember it. But
yeah, Well, Brian, speaking of old series that they're bringing back, we got kind of a mother load here.
Yeah, we really do.
So, Who's the Boss is coming back?
Okay, I don't even think I saw this, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, with like Tony Danza, like what? Everybody's coming back. Judith Light,
Judith Light,
Alyssa Milano.
Well, it's going to be Tony Danza and Alyssa milano.
Okay,
they're the main ones, and now she has her own kids. Okay. Samantha, she has her own kids. That's my Tony Danza impression, by the way. That's all I do. Samantha.
Which, by the way, I've never seen Who's the Boss.
You never seen Who's the Boss?
Nope. I know it. It
what
was on
in
TV.
The world?
I just didn't have any interest in it.
Did you grow up in the 1980s?
I did. There was just certain shows that I remember it having this sort of dank color scheme to it, and I just was like, nah. Kept flipping channels.
That was the like archetypal sitcom, like it's specifically the archetypal 80s sitcom, like Growing Pains and Who's the Boss.
I love Growing Pains.
See, there you go. I'm surprised they haven't brought that back, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, they're bringing it back. It says here, this is via Deadline, that original cast members Judith Light and Danny Pintaro are supportive of the new series.
That's good.
And they hope the hope is to find creative ways to work them and their characters into the show. So all this means is that eternal question of who is in fact the boss remains to be determined.
Isn't it amazing how many? I mean, a lot of shows have come back. I mean, even Murphy Brown, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's come and gone, but it's
Come and
just Will and Grace, and just like they just keep resuscitating all these. Like, well, worked in the past.
Let's try that again.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
It was, and I liked the original Murphy Brown when I was a kid. I used to watch that because they showed it in Saudi Arabia. So I was, I'm not gonna say I was excited. That's like overstating it. But I was like, oh, I'll watch this new one, and I felt kind of bad watching the new one.
What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
what about it made you feel bad?
Yeah, I was just like, like you wanted to do well because you like these characters.
support
you
the
like
brand.
You say, and you like the actors. They seem like nice people.
Right. And they
And
were game.
They were
to come
game.
back and
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, you come back and, the thing doesn't really work as well as it might have for whatever reason. And it just kind of dies on the vine. You're like, oh, it sucks that they all invested their own emotion into this thing, bringing this thing
Right.
back, kind of sucks.
Yeah. Well, now I'm thinking about it even more. Like Roseanne came back, and just all from this sort of close era, right?
Yeah.
This stretch.
But
It's really
I mean,
interesting.
when you look at the Roseanne thing, like The Conners is still going.
It is, yeah.
And it's doing quite well. It's like the number one show on a sitcom on ABC.
Wow.
Right.
So, yeah.
So this Who's the Boss sequel series is being developed at Sony Television, but I don't know what the venue will be. I'm assuming they would want to land it at ABC because that's where the original show was.
Right.
But
Or some streamer, maybe.
yeah, maybe a streamer makes more sense. Like, doesn't Sony have its own streaming? Was it Crackle? Isn't that Sony?
Oh, I don't know.
It says the project will eventually be shopped to buyers with the opportunity to also license the 196 episodes of the original series. Oh, okay, so there will be like a linkage there. But I mean, come on, Brian Hall notwithstanding, I think many people would be like, "Oh, who's the boss?" And you're bringing back Alyssa Milano and Tony Danza. I'll at least check it out.
Hey, and Brian supports you. I'm very supportive of this. Or whatever.
What's
I joined
a show-
Judith Light in supporting.
Judith Light, Danny Pintaro, and Brian Hall express their support. It says right there, deadline. Are there shows like from the 80s that you grew up with that you'd be, or 90s, I guess, that have not been revived up to this point that you would be down with?
If Growing Pains came back, I just have such fond memories of it. I would be like, okay, well, I'll at least check it out. I'm trying to remember the shows that I liked. I mean, Family Ties and...
See, Family Ties I'd be interested in.
Yeah, but I just don't think you could recapture it. I mean, that show was like Michael J. Fox and Justine Bateman and it was Alex Gross, right? And Meredith Baxter Birney. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you got to do the same thing. Otherwise, I don't know that I'd be...
Well, here's the problem with Growing Pains, right? Alan Thicke is gone.
That's, you know what? Yeah, he would be sorely, sorely missed.
The only way I want to see Growing Pains, and now even as I think about this, I'm fascinated to see this. I want it to be a standard multi-camera sitcom with flat, 80s lighting, the audience, but it needs to be starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
that's what I want. I want the Growing Pains revival starring DiCaprio.
Yeah, like he inherits the house and just sort of...
Like not Mike Seaver, not Ben, not any of the...
Ben.
Not the actual family.
Right.
It's the cousin Oliver who they adopted.
That is hilarious.
For the last season.
Yeah. All right. I'm in. And of course, I'm trying to think. I really am. I certainly, this is going to surprise no one, but if Alf came back, I would absolutely tune back in. I'm just forever endeared to Alf.
I'm amazed that Alf has not been brought back up to this point.
He's been brought back in the weirdest ways. Remember, he used to be in collect call commercials.
Yes.
And then he had a talk show for a while.
Yep. And
I don't know.
There was that movie with Martin Sheen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Because the show ended on a cliffhanger. It got canceled, so they
Yes.
had to like follow up and show you what happened to him.
And it turns out after the movie, you're like, I actually didn't need to see that.
Yeah, maybe it's more fun than just wondering.
I just assumed he was captured and dissected. That was my
Right.
that was my headcanon until the movie came out.
And he probably told some sort of dry joke right before he went under. And he's like, "Ha! I kill me."
Oh my god, that is dark. Anyway, hey, here's another show coming back, CSI.
That was gone. I didn't know. What is it now? Is it NCIS that there's a million of?
The NCIS at this point is just self-perpetuating.
Okay, right.
There's no stopping it. It's too late.
Wait, so CIS or CSI? Wow. What's the one that had David Caruso where he put on sunglasses?
That was CSI. I feel like I'm talking to my imaginary uncle who doesn't watch a lot of television.
I actually feel like your imaginary uncle would be the one who would know if CSI was still on television.
That's a good point. Touche. That's true. So CSI Miami was the David Caruso joint.
Okay.
CSI Original, OG CSI,
Jinx.
that started... actually, Brian, I'm just realizing, it started exactly 20 years ago next month.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the one that they're now want to bring back.
Okay.
And it's, it starred William Peterson.
Of course.
Thank you. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yes. And, he was like doing the CSI stuff. I don't know, man. I watched the show in the beginning and then I drifted away. But it was very, I mean, this. It was ubiquitous.
It's juggernaut. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not even trying to accidentally diss it. I'm just not familiar with it.
So, it was ubiquitous for like a minute. They had 3 shows at the same time. It was just absolutely bananas. And then I think people figured out, wait a minute, these are all exactly the same show.
Right.
I mean, how many ways can you how many ways can you eye a CS? It's all kind of the same,
Yeah.
There's just the only thing different was the color palettes.
Okay. This one, Miami's oversaturated.
Yes.
Minneapolis is undersaturated.
It's like New York is very like gray,
Blue and gray. Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming back. I don't know. They're bringing back William Peterson and Georgia Fox, who they were both on the original show. And the thought I have is like, am I excited about this? Not particularly, but I am. I mean, it seems to me that for a lot of the networks, this is the way to go, in lieu of being able to make peak TV, because peak TV is not really suited to networks.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
So CSI is a brand that people know, and it offers the comfort of the familiar. And I'm clearly the reruns continue to do well all over the world. So why the hell wouldn't you do something like this?
You already own it.
Yeah,
you know the formula works. I completely agree. And now it has the illusion of feeling new.
Yeah,
Right? It's
and the
fresh.
illusion is a really key thing, because the show ended like 4 years ago,
Funny.
right?
It's not even that long ago. Yeah.
Not even right. Another example is like Law and Order, the Law and Order franchise. They're bringing back Christopher Maloney, who was on SVU, and they're giving him his own spinoff.
Okay.
Right? And I'm like, well, I haven't watched SVU in forever, but yeah, I'd check out like the show that brings back, Stabler.
Yeah, that's a show I never watched on my own, but whenever I visited you,
Yes.
we would watch it. We'd just, before we went out to do whatever we were going to do for that day, we'd watch like 2 or 3 episodes, and I always enjoyed it.
It is. I mean,
It's a great formula.
Special Victims Unit, when you think about it, I mean, it's been on since '99, right? So, and it's been renewed for another 3 years or something. So it'll have the distance record for a drama by a wide margin.
Huh.
And here's my point. Like, this is it's a trade-off, right? Like with your peak TV shows like your Breaking Bad, you get this amazing story that has a shelf life built into it. Like Breaking Bad could not have comfortably gone past what it was, right?
No, yeah, you'd be stretching credibility and integrity of story.
Exactly. Whereas here you have SVU, which, I mean, it's not Breaking Bad, but then again, it's not trying to be Breaking Bad, and yet it, in its own way, clearly, it has the appeal where people can sit down and watch, and they can binge watch like 20 episodes in a row that have no connection to each other.
Right.
Now, granted, to me, Special Victims Unit is one of these shows where I'm like, I can't watch too much of this because there's only so many times you can watch somebody describe being, penetrated with a broom handle or whatever.
Yeah,
before
very,
you're like,
very disturbing.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
But obviously, the formula works.
Right.
And it's a brand, so I mean, me, I really like the original Law and Order. I'm like, that's been off the air for 10 years. I'm surprised they haven't tried to bring that back.
Right.
It's interesting how these things go. Television is not the only place where the old is becoming new once again.
No.
So there's a couple of remakes that are coming. And Brian, I'd like to think that my reaction to these pieces of news show a growing maturity in myself. Just as a person.
You know what's funny? I think same. I will join you in this. Yeah, that's so funny.
So two remakes were announced. One is The Exorcist.
I think I might have seen a headline for this. Like literally not some sort of sidequel or sequel. I mean, they're going to remake the original. Is that the plan?
Just a straight up reboot.
Okay.
So the rights are owned now. Actually, there was a television show,
right,
a couple of years ago, which I have not seen, but that was somehow meant to serve as a prequel to the film, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think it was meant to eventually, had they gotten to it, lead up to like a redo, which I guess they never had the chance.
Sure.
But it says here that this is via Deadline that they're doing it's just a straight reboot of The Exorcist. And that's one of those things where, admittedly, for me, The Exorcist, I'm not precious about it because I've only seen it relatively recently.
Oh, okay.
And I like it a lot. I think it's very good. But it's also like, well, they've already done a lot of crappy follow-ups to this thing.
Right.
Like, I don't view The Exorcist like Jaws.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
Like, if they announced a Jaws remake, I might have some qualms
feelings
about that, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, that's a thing that's planning to come out next year, assuming there is a world for the movie to come out into next year.
Right.
All of this news is contingent on that. But then, here's one that I think you and I would have a stronger reaction to. They're doing a remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
Starring...
Not a remake of Due Date, mind you.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's already been remade once. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles starring Will Smith and Kevin Hart.
Right.
Now, first point, as soon as you say who's in it, you can already picture the movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, second thing, again, this is to me a sign of my own maturity. I read that, and I just kind of closed the browser on my phone, and I just went outside and took a walk because I was like,
yeah.
I think it's a horrifically bad idea.
Yes.
However, I'm also like, you know what? If it's good, it's good.
Wow, look at us. You basically summed up my feelings on it as well. I thought about it to myself after I read it. And I don't even remember. I just remember even thinking like, I'm very proud of my feelings on this. But I think I came to the conclusion you can't remake that movie.
Yes.
It's done and it's perfect. So, like, to the thought of trying to replace it or think that it needs to be remade is just absurd. However, it's a really interesting genre, like a road picture with two mismatched people. And so if people want to try to do variations on that genre, well, go for it. maybe there's a good movie to be made with Will Smith and Kevin Hart not getting along on the road. I think remakes are just so ubiquitous at this moment. I don't even find them offensive anymore because they tend not to be the ones that are shown on cable late at night. The originals are always the ones that just keep getting rerun because that's the only one anyone wants to watch. So I don't think Planes, Trains is going anywhere. I think it will continue to be beloved. That will be the one that's shown every Thanksgiving. However, all right, if you think you got an idea, and go for it. I'll check it out.
Here's what I'll say. You mentioned Due Date. I would consider that the bad remake.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it learns all the wrong lessons from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's a good point, by the way, that it's not just a surfacey comedy. I mean, there's a lot going on in that movie, and that's why it is so beloved and memorable and whatnot. So yes, there are lessons to take from the success and the love for that film. And you're right. Yeah, Due Date does not care about any of those.
Exactly. So if you know what, surprise us. We would love nothing more than to talk about the pleasantly surprised reaction we had to the remake of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, maybe that's it too. Actually, maybe that's why it feels a little bit more. It's taking a little bit more restraint. Is the fact if they actually reuse that title.
Yes.
Because it's like Due Date obviously is a riff or a remake of Planes, Trains, but at least they're like, well, like I said, they're treating it like a genre.
Yes.
And they're trying to do it again with actors who are current that we like. And so it almost feels a little like, wow, you're making a statement, when you use that title.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just, to me, John Candy was just like a natural resource, that guy.
Irreplaceable.
Right.
The fact that he could play someone who's supposed to be annoying, and he is. However, you can't help but love him. That's really, really tricky shoes to fill.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm assuming there will be more news about this, assuming it even happens, obviously. But
that's a good point.
That being said, I mean, there was like the collective rending of garments on the internet as soon as this was announced. And I was kind of proud of myself for being like, we'll see. We'll see.
I would say that is like one of the greatest gifts of age.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
If that's the price of turning 40 is,
But you just realize, I know how we were with the prequels, and we would just spend evenings and nights and just talking and talking. Can you imagine if we had a podcast back then when those
I know.
Out? But now it's just like, all right, well, I don't have to like it, but I also don't have to watch it.
It's a good feeling.
The world keeps turning.
With that said, let's take another break and then we'll come back. We got, new reviews for Tenet are out and things like that. We can talk about that. And we're back. And hey, Brian, I guess movie theaters are open somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, we have. Tenet seemed to be the centerpiece headline about theaters coming back and what's Warner's going to do and what's Nolan really want. But along the way, you had that movie Unhinged, the Russell Crowe road rage movie that was like, no, we're going to be first. Always just, if Tenet moved, Unhinged was like, we can do it too. And so apparently it's out. I didn't even realize this, but Unhinged is out. I even saw on my Facebook wall some friend of mine has already seen it, and it's like, oh, interesting. But we'll see. I'm very curious what the box office is going to be like for that, because as theaters reopen, AMC has said that only a third of their theaters, I believe, are open, right? No, it's even less. I think it's 100 out of 600, something like that. And then they can only sell a third of the seating inside their theaters. So it's going to be a little bit of a mental adjustment looking at box office and trying to figure out what success is these days. But Tenet was the one that everyone is really excited about. I know I am. If I felt like there was a safe way to get back to a theater, even in somewhat uncertain times, that's probably the one movie that could actually get me to leave my house and show up somewhere in a radiation suit. So, but it's still, this movie's kind of wrapped in mystery. We don't know what it's about. But just this morning, I'm seeing reviews are finally dropping for it, and it's been kind of cool and also a little risky. Like this movie is not opening in our markets, right? It's opening in other parts of the country. It's opening in other parts of the world, but it won't be opening near us. So we don't know when we're going to get to see this, but I had to take a look at the reviews. And so I stayed away from story and anything that had to do with plot. I just wanted to see people's opinions on it. And everybody seems impressed by it. It seems like mixed to positive at the moment. And, everyone's saying it still kind of has that Nolan, maybe a little bit more head versus heart. But the bombast is undeniable, and it's definitely, a really welcome return to blockbusters. So to me, that's all the digging I'm going to do. It's a relief to see that. And I just hope I get to see it sometime soon.
What's interesting is the reactions seem to span the gamut. Because what I'm also I'm looking at IndieWire and they call it a humorless disappointment.
Oh wow! See, I've seen like 3 or 4. I haven't seen any negatives yet. Wow.
But my other thought and I'm not reading the reviews, so I'm just looking at the headline. But I'm just like, when you say humorless, what do we? Chris Nolan movies aren't exactly laugh riots. You know what I mean?
Right.
As with all of his movies, it is best to just go in completely cold. But it's interesting how, and this just goes to what we've talked about this before. Like, it seems like an overestimation to think that this is the movie that's going to save Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like you'd want a definitive 4-quadrant kind of movie, something like Wonder Woman, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm jealous. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't know. When is it? When are we gonna? When's gonna be our time?
I don't know. And I've seen a lot of articles too, wondering if piracy is going to be a big issue. And I gotta admit, I know people's opinions vary, but if it were to come across my laptop pirated, I'm not interested. I don't want to see a pirated version. I want to see a good version of it. This is a movie. If ever there was a movie to see in the best quality possible, I feel for me this is it. So,
I mean, I got my 4K TV, whatever. I'll pay the whatever the premium is.
I was talking about this with my brother last night, and I probably shouldn't put this out there because studios will be like, interesting. But when I heard that Mulan, was $30 coming out, I was like, I get it. And then my brother was like, will you watch it? I was like, no.
Right.
But then unless we do it for the show, then maybe, I guess. But
yeah.
But then if Tenet were to come out for $30, maybe even more, $35.99 or something. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'd watch it.
I mean, even with Mulan, right? Like, it's $30, and I agree. Like, I'm not particularly interested in watching it, but $30, and it's Disney Plus exclusive.
Yes.
But you own it.
Which makes sense, especially if you maybe have a family and kids that are going to want to watch it on repeat, because then you're basically buying the Blu-ray, so to speak. Right. I think for me, and I sounded really flippant about it, and it's not the movie itself, it's just that's a movie I can wait 3 months till it's just streaming like normal on Disney Plus.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel the urgency to drop $30 to see it today.
Right.
However, something like Tenet, I'm like clamoring for it. So, yeah, which is also kind of, I guess, the conundrum that the theatrical experience is dealing with right now. Because if you do have the patience to wait 3 to 4 months, then yeah, I mean, people aren't going to pay that premium price.
I mean, look, here's the reality. Even after social distancing is over with, the theatrical experience as it existed is not coming back.
No.
And what I mean by that is people aren't going to feel the A, comfortable, or B, the need to go out to the theater. And even like you don't just switch it off, like the idea of maintaining distance.
Exactly. Right.
It's not just like, all right, it's come on in, everybody. The water's fine.
Mm-hmm. That's going to take a long time.
That's what I'm saying. There's too many examples of people right away going out to bars and stuff and right away getting sick.
Yes.
Right? So
Yep.
so the whole I mean, everything holding the industry aloft is rapidly changing. And I don't know what it looks like on the flip side of that, but obviously the studios are going to keep wanting to make their movies, and if they feel that VOD is a more profitable way, then that's what they're going to pursue.
Yeah, and I'm going to become more selective. Like I know you and I are a bit more unique than some other people, where we watch more movies probably than the average person. But were it a normal world and Mulan was coming out this weekend, I'd probably see it. I'd probably see it at some point in the theater. But again, like I said, I can wait a couple months on that one, and I'll enjoy it later.
Yeah.
But for me, now with this premium pricing sort of deal, it has to be something that I am really intentionally interested in. And so right now at this moment, that's Bill and Ted 3, which I don't know how many other people are going to agree with me, but for me personally, that's something I can't believe exists. I feel like it was probably made for me. You know what I mean? Like I was one of those people that have been wanting this for years and years. So it's almost like, of course, A, I want to see it, but B, I almost want to reward it for existing.
Yeah.
And then something like Tenet, where I go, well, look, Netflix keeps releasing blockbusters, quote unquote, on their platform every 2 weeks, and they're fine. But Tenet, regardless if it's a good, emotional, whatever it's going to be, I know it's going to be something that blows me away.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm willing to pay for. But it's going to be more difficult, I think, for people to, studios to provide things that don't feel like, well, I can just watch this thing that came out this week on Netflix.
Right.
I
don't know. I don't know what that looks like. The times are rapidly changing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
We're just, here's some news that another testament to how the times are changing. I find this interesting. There's a new movie in the works, and it's going to star Taryn Manning, called Karen.
No.
And it's about a Karen.
That is like such. It almost feels like a not a Family Guy joke, but some from some show. It's some guy like, hey, everybody, or they're like looking through hashtags, and like, what about a movie called Karen? They're like, yeah, let's greenlight that. What's it about? We'll figure it out.
So it says here, the story sees Manning as Karen White. Subtle, right? A racist and entitled white woman from the South who terrorizes her new African-American neighbors and makes it her mission to oust this family from her area. The neighbor characters are also staunch Black Lives Matter supporters. The director and writer is named Coke Daniels. Says he wants to offer people an interesting perspective on social justice and race relations in America. So obviously, I will withhold judgment on the movie itself, but you got to admit, this is the most like 2020 premise of a movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, this is happening right now. Why the heck would I want to watch that for entertainment?
That's
it makes me sad. Like it's contributing to my sadness. So why would I want to watch a movie about it? I don't understand.
It's what's funny is we've talked in a previous episode about these these videos that are going viral. These people who are just being idiots, with the not wanting to wear masks and whatever. And there's there's like horrible stories where like this one poor kid at like a Sesame Street park got his jaw broken.
Yeah,
because he told somebody to put a mask. I mean, it's really awful people.
Yeah,
there's a thing that happened here in Campbell, which is about half an hour away from me. It was at like a Marshall store. Where I don't know, male Karen, what are they called? Kevin? I don't know. He's not wearing a mask and he's just being belligerent. And by the way, he's wearing like a shirt and tie, like dressed,
Oh, I think I saw an image of this. Yeah.
And then he whips his dick out.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's just what passes for human interaction in this day and age.
What is going on?
Right.
This has been what is going on with the Movie Film Podcast.
It really is.
Where Brian and Zachy just shake their heads. And...
well, there is some good news, Brian.
Yes, please.
So this news just broke yesterday. Ben Affleck is on the way back. He's in the way back, but he's also on the way back to playing Batman again.
Yeah, which we thought was out of the cards, right?
Well, he gave an interview right around the time when The Way Back came out, where he was like, "I would have drunk myself to death if I made that movie, The Batman, which is why he walked
Right.
away.
He was going to write, direct, and star in a Batman movie.
Yes.
And he was saying that would have driven him crazy.
So he was ready to be done, and then obviously in the last several months there have been many changes in the fate of the DC movie universe. Among them being that the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is coming out.
Right.
That's big, and then the Flash film that has been in development. Andy Muschietti is directing it, and they already announced. It was rumored that Michael Keaton was coming back to play Batman, and that has now been confirmed. That he's going to he's going to have a substantial role, and in addition to
that word.
What's that?
Substantial.
I know, that's the key thing, right?
Yeah.
In addition to Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, they've also said that Ben Affleck will also come back as Batman.
I would love for these, like, all these Batmans to kind of run into each other and in their gravelly voice be like, "Say what?"
You know what's funny? This is first broken in an article in Vanity Fair by Anthony Bresnikan, and one of the money quotes is essentially, this is Warner Brothers' way of saying, look, let's just incorporate everything so that the fans can stop being at each other's throats, and I do feel it's a little bit like Roger Myers, in The Simpsons, where they're trying to figure out what the kids want out of Itchy and Scratchy.
Right.
Some of them want this, some of them want this. It's like, let's just give them everything. You kids are stupid,
You don't know what you want.
Yeah.
That's why you're kids.
And there's Brian Hall with the dial. The other thought I had, this is a darker place. It'd be funny if just we're all dead and we're in like the Lost waiting room. And that's all this stuff is right now.
What, right now?
Yeah, so they're releasing the Snyder Cut. Michael Keaton is coming back. Ben Affleck is coming. This is we're just all in the waiting room and Lost.
Right. We're like, we should have realized it was all nonsense.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for that,
That is hilarious.
Trump
Any
loses.
it became reality.
Yeah. That's all this is,
Well, I'm into it. I mean, is this confirmed too, or is this a rumor with Ben Affleck?
Affleck is confirmed.
Okay, I was going to say, doesn't this, if you take a step back and get cynical, sort of feel like a way to get this Flash movie made that has been taking forever to get made? You're like, and this, and you sort of keep putting this out there and showing Warner Brothers. See, the kids like it.
I think this all but confirms that the movie gets made.
Yeah. Sure.
Because I don't think you can put this stuff out there and then be like, psych, sorry, creative differences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, the for those of you who don't know, the movie is an adaptation of the Flashpoint storyline, which involves the Flash going back in time, and he prevents the death of his mother, which ends up shattering the time stream. And then when he ends up making it back to his time, things are different. So if I were to guess, I would say that Batfleck shows up in the beginning, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then like we come back, and
he goes to Wayne Manor.
Yeah, but and actually, I mean, that's like
Michael Keaton.
I mean, supposedly they've said that Keaton is going to be like a fixture from here on in.
Oh my gosh! It just occurred to me, we'll see that Batmobile again.
That'd be nice, right?
Ooh-wee.
So I don't know. I hope it's good. I was going to say I hope it happens, and I'm going to say no because that feels like a monkey's paw wish. I hope it's good.
Me too. Me too.
And same with the Snyder Cut. I hope it's good. They're this right now as we're recording, the DC online convention thing is happening.
Oh, okay.
Fandom, right?
There's going to be a trailer or something, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think this weekend is going to drop, and I suspect we'll hear something. If there is something to be heard about Henry Cavill, this seems to be the weekend to do that.
If he's going to return in a new Superman movie,
if he's gonna come back or not. So,
sweet.
I hope it's good, and I hope if we are in fact in the waiting room and Lost, that everyone else is enjoying their whatever their fantasy is.
As I look out my door, I just see Alf with like a newspaper under his arm and a cup of coffee. He's like, "Yo!" I'm like,
you just kind of nod, like,
"Let me just stay here."
There's a show I'm surprised they haven't thought about bringing back, Lost. I don't know how you would even
don't-
do that. I don't even know how you'd do that. But
I don't either.
come on, Brian, the conversation has been had at some point, at some level,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Especially because suddenly Damon Lindelof, his name is not Kryptonite.
Yeah, Watchmen really helped out, didn't it?
Because Watchmen, which I have not seen, but I hear good things about.
Yep.
Have you seen it? Did you like it?
Yeah, I can't remember if I talked about it or not, but yeah, it's good. It's
You
good.
liked it?
It's very, it's social commentary, very relevant to today, very dark, but it finds ways to sort of weave the Watchmen mythos into it all. And I mean, it was a heck of an undertaking. And
Nice.
yeah, he pulled it off, and he's been really cool. I've seen in interviews too where he's like, yeah, I'm glad everyone likes it, but it takes a village, and he'd always credit all these other writers who contributed and how good the room was, and so
Yeah. Nice.
yeah,
So, Brian, I hear some music.
yeah.
We haven't heard this music in a while.
Yeah, we haven't, have we? Obviously, there's been sort of the tumultuous fandom, as you mentioned earlier, with Star Wars, and people who love it and people who hate it, and people are just kind of stuck in the middle. I think that's us.
Yeah,
the things we like, things we don't like, but we're still like, hey, we're just trying to enjoy whatever they put out, But Mandalorian seemed to be pretty unanimous in people liking it, and apparently it's been shown to George Lucas. He's watched it, and see, this was an interview, right, where they did with Favreau and Filoni.
Yeah.
And this is Filoni saying that what is it here? Lucas, he's watched it and he's enjoyed it, and he commented that he gets to watch it now as a fan, as a viewer. And so I think for him that probably allows him to put his feet up and just sort of take it in, and yeah, sounds like he likes what they're doing.
I mean, you wonder, like, first of all, can George Lucas be over the moon about anything Star Wars that he's not involved in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. In Bob Iger's memoir, he actually said Lucas felt betrayed
That's
by
right.
the direction of the sequel trilogy.
Which
he said, and him saying that they lacked originality. I mean, that's something he actually said.
I've said online, I think Disney did him dirty.
How so?
Insofar as the sequel trilogy, like, dude, if you guys if that was the deal, like, you guys are going to make the sequel trilogy, why wouldn't you make his version of it?
I see.
Use his version as a starting point, and then at least you as Disney have cover. Do you see what I'm saying? You say, look, we're being true to George's vision.
I'm somewhere, I don't know. I could probably change my mind on this every minute. I feel like if he signed it over, then they're sort of free to do whatever they want with it.
I mean, on a legal level, absolutely.
Yeah, and
I feel like on a practical PR level,
yeah,
wouldn't story by George Lucas buy you a certain amount of cred?
Cred, and like you said, cover if it doesn't end up, working out. We're like, well, hey, this is from George. Take it up with George.
We're executing his Order 66. Right?
Yeah, but then it also makes me wonder if you could get your J.J. Abrams and whatnot in there, because they're not going to want to go in and do some other guy's marching orders.
Yeah, but he's not some other guy. He's George Lucas.
I agree, and that's something I've said on this show before, where I feel like I don't care who you are. You might want to come in and be like, well, yeah, but I'm A-list director, and I think what trumps that is, yeah, but you're making Star Wars. Like, Star Wars wins every time.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, this is all part of the stew that created the sort of messy cocktail we're in right now. But
I mean, and I say to somebody, I'm like, I'm fine with the sequel trilogy. It's like, whatever at this point. I'm fine with it, but I think just, before Lucas took off, he's like, here's my idea for the to wrap it all up. Mm-hmm. And for Bob Iger to be like, put a pin in that, like,
you're right.
That's, I don't know. That's just odd to me, because I would feel bad doing something like that. I would think at the very least be like, well, I'm not really feeling it, but here, JJ, use this as a jump off point and whatever, and then you have the DNA of George Lucas in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he wrote, but I agree with you. It would have been nice if that had at least been maybe the spine or something, and there might have been some more cohesion to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he enjoys The Mandalorian, I'm glad that he's able to find some, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good show. You guys are doing a good job. It's like, wow, he's so excited.
Right. Right. I've never seen him this way.
You know what's interesting? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, it's no secret that, I mean, him and Filoni are tight, right? I mean, Filoni is essentially his Padawan.
Yeah.
And so you've got to imagine there's some sort of spice in that stew that Lucas is like, excellent. You know?
Right.
I've taught him well.
You know, Filoni, and I think it might have been in the context of the same interview where he was talking about Lucas's view of the canon, which is very interesting because you have a big chunk of the fandom that is upset to this day that Disney dispensed with that whole expanded universe.
Oh, right.
In favor of the whatever post Force Awakens, everything became Legends, and Filoni says, look, man, as far as Lucas was concerned, none of this stuff was canon.
Right.
And that's one of those helpful things to realize. Like, fans really built it up into something
that
was considered quote-unquote canonical. But he's like, look, George was consistent from the beginning. He's like, the movies and the TV shows are what's real. Everything else is just people telling stories in my universe. Mm-hmm. And he felt free to acknowledge some of that stuff. He ignored a lot of it. But it was never, as far as George Lucas was concerned, it was never quote-unquote real Star Wars.
Right. Which makes sense.
It absolutely does, and it's like that aspect that fans are still so like worked up about. I'm not minimizing it. I get it. It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, if you put in the work and invested and got emotionally tied with it, I get it.
It sucks. But what I've said is like, look, if you don't like anything Disney has done, then you can look at all of that old stuff, which is still available. Still in print, not hard to find, and you've got, there you go. There's your post Return of the Jedi canon, and it all hangs together pretty well. And there's decades worth of it. It's all there.
Yeah.
As far as you're concerned, Kylo Ren need never have existed.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Everybody needs to just relax. That's my point. This is new 40-year-old Zachy. It's Uncle Zachy here, everybody. So, what else is going on?
Well, funny enough, this actually just broke today. But I guess Kathleen Kennedy spoke to
the hated Kathleen Kennedy, right?
By some.
Not by
some.
us, but I mean, if you listen to quote-unquote the internet.
Right.
She and Brie Larson and I don't know, some other hate wagon. They're all squashing masculine dreams, one Star Wars at a time.
Yeah, I was trying to think of it. I guess Eudora Welty, maybe.
There's a deep dive.
Look it up.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You little leaguers. Yeah.
So, so I guess she sat down with the Rap and they were just talking about what's ahead, and sort of the pull quotes here is they're talking about the future of Star Wars, and she says it's ever evolving, and the reason being, I'll just read her quote, why paraphrase. She says, when I personally came to this, George had already been having conversations with his previous actors, Carrie, Harrison, Mark. So there was a saga that the fans loved.
I'm sorry, who are they?
Oh, I'm sorry. Carrie Fisher. She was in Postcards from the Edge. Harrison Ford, he was in Mosquito Coast, and Mark Hamill was in Corvette Summer.
See, in my head, I was like, okay, my reference would be Mosquito Coast.
Right. He was also in Firewall. That was probably the most recent thing you remember
He
him
of
from.
Mosquito Coast and Firewall fame.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill of Corvette Summer. Yes.
Yep. I mean, we think of that mostly for Annie Potts, but...
And this is true.
So he was saying he had already spoken with these actors, and there was already a saga that fans loved, and he never finished. So what she's getting at is the first things first, we're going to knock out this Skywalker saga. So he always talked about doing his 9 movies. They were ready to complete that. So now,
and then they did not
complete that.
Not his 9 movies.
Oh well, yes.
We
like
literally
just saying.
talked about this.
Yes, that's right. Well, I mean, they made 7, 8, 9, yes, but did they complete
saga,
Lucas's story?
There was a saga that the fans loved, and he never finished it. He always talked about doing 9 movies, and he was ready to complete that. So we made sure to snap his dreams right at the base of the spine.
Hey, good point. Well, now, and so what now? This is what we keep asking every week, basically. But she, I guess, essentially here admitted that Lucasfilm creatives need time to step back and really absorb what George has created. Meaning, they had sort of a handle on whatever took place in this 40-odd years span of time, but again, with quotes, she says the mythology actually spans about 25,000 years. It's been covered in books and games, which is kind of funny again, as we had just spoken about that. But she's saying there's just infinite possibilities of where it could go. So they are actually taking their time, just trying to figure out what demands to be told next, it sounds like. Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of the gist of what I'm getting as I sort of look over this right now.
So I'm going to do my own little interpretation. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. I think Rise of Skywalker did not perform probably they would have hoped.
I'm sure, yes.
And so the only success on the board at this point, the only unfettered ongoing success right now is The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the movie side, I think they're completely out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it, right? Even if you make a subpar movie that is somewhat connected to the Skywalker universe,
yeah,
you can at least, I mean, as evidenced by, I'll just say me personally, you're like, hey, yeah, like you'll find me trying to love it, right?
Yes.
But once you go out and you just do something completely new, like we are starting a new mythology, new heroes, you don't know any of these people. I mean, that is daunting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure they are trying to evaluate just drink in what has happened.
Yeah.
And figure out how to proceed and try to make everyone happy again.
Here's the thing, okay? We were talking about Star Trek earlier, right?
Yes.
And you say, well, Star Trek is all these characters and it's all these ships and whatever, but what is it? Down to its essence, and you say it's seek out strange new worlds, boldly go where no one has gone before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mission statement that you can overlay onto any version. So what is the mission statement of Star Wars? Take away all the characters and everything. What is the mission statement?
Man, that's something. Because really, when I think about them, I always think about an emerging hero.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So it's, what is the... I mean, obviously they're always going to have some sort of heroic protagonist, but...
I mean, Brian, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before the sequels...
Yeah.
Well, even during the sequels, I guess. But really, like, before it became shared universe, every version of it was ultimately an expression or something that revolved around what? Rebels versus Empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that is off the board to some extent.
To some extent, because, I was just thinking, ragtag group of friends that we care about, fighting against an oppressor. But it's... So, you almost are boxed in some ways when you have war in the title.
Yeah.
There's always got to be some sort of conflict or galaxy-wide turmoil.
Yeah.
Whereas in Star Trek, they can start off, everything's fine, and then something happens, and then a whale calls out,
See, this is so interesting because with the trilogy that just ended, that's what struck me odd is there's an opportunity there to tie off certain things while leaving certain things available to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, okay, we're wrapping up the Skywalker saga, and that means you tie off a few things. But the idea that, well, we gotta wrap it up again, basically the same way we did 3 movies ago.
Right.
That doesn't seem very thought out to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a question I've asked going all the way back to, when this trilogy first started. I was like, what is their plan for after Episode 9?
Right.
Because, and I still say, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that there will, at some point, be an Episode 10.
Sure.
But are we just going to do this shit again?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I mean, it's with the series, it seems, you can have these sort of bounty hunter adventures, and the Obi-Wan series we know will be Skywalker adjacent at the very least.
Skywalker adjacent, yeah.
But I am very much looking forward to those. But yeah, I mean, those just seem like pocket of the universe sorts of stories. But yeah, the next big bombastic universe at stake story, like, how do you not repeat yourself?
Yeah, like, I guess the point I'm making is, there's no reason for Star Wars saga and Skywalker saga to have to be the same thing.
Yes.
So the opportunity was, okay,
Right.
we're done with the Skywalker saga, but the Star Wars saga continues.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the end of Episode 6 feels like a natural conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Like, that trilogy was a perfect little beginning, middle, and end.
I mean, that's how it was for all our lives.
Yeah, and then the prequels, it was nice to get more, and those were their own sorts of journeys that supported the trilogy.
They
we
still
already knew.
culminated in Return of the Jedi.
Exactly. And so then when you have 7, 8, 9, it's like you're almost stuck. Like, the story's done. So it's like, well, the bad guys are back. And they're, you just kind of repeat yourself. And it's, I mean, it's no, I'm sitting here from my chair saying this like it's,
no easy thing.
It's no easy feat. Yeah.
But, and by, like, I feel bad. It sounds like we're ragging on Kathleen Kennedy. We have defended her pretty consistently on this show.
Yeah. And I mean, lest anyone forget, all your favorite movies were produced by her.
Yes. So she had an unenviable job, and she has now perhaps an even more unenviable job.
Yeah. Yeah, very tough. And
for
just
which
people
she's
are just
paid.
so, they have their knives out. Even when we're awaiting good news, it's like the knives are sharpened. So it's
constantly, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, it's an unenviable job for which she's paid millions upon millions of dollars. So
Touche.
I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
But I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Anything you feel like hyping up for the folks listening?
Puppy Dog Pals, as always, on Disney Junior, and Disney Plus. And from what I understand, someone told me it's the number 8 most streamed thing on Disney Plus, which I was
kidding.
like, wow, in a universe of Star Wars and Marvel movies, and
That's amazing.
Yeah, really
Very
proud
cool.
of that. That's cool.
As for me, you can find me at my website, Zackie'sCorner.com, although I haven't posted there in a little while, so you're probably better off looking me up on Twitter at Zackie's Corner, Zakis Corner, and check me out at the San Francisco Chronicle, where I just dropped an article this week looking back at the 1970s Star Trek animated series, and the way that paved the way for not only the new animated show right now, but really the franchise living long and prospering past the original series. And of course, we'll be back soon with our next commentary track, which is going to be the first Back to the Future.
Woo!
That should be a fun one. And then, of course, we'll be back with our next regular show. We'll be talking about Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I'm so nervous and excited.
That's going to be an interesting discussion, regardless of how the movie turned out, which I hope will be good.
Yep.
If you have any questions or comments for us, please hit us up at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. As always, please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. And until next time, on behalf of my partner Brian Hall, my name is Zachy Hassan. This has been Movie Film 206. We'll catch you next time. Thanks everybody for listening.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast.